So this is actually going to be an event here. Hey, this is going to be an event for Soul Care 101, right? I use TT. I use this space to promote my business, all right? And I just felt like doing a free event because, one, I know a lot of times people love free things. They also love to sign up and not participate because it's free. But it didn't matter because I'm new to this space and I just wanted to like share a little bit of what I do and all this stuff. I love to help entrepreneurs, but I definitely help women. And I'm just gonna like go into it. I love to have like this is so different from what I do because like I'm very creative. My background is in graphic design, so I love to like create visuals and have like a whole presentation, but I don't know how to do that on here. I do not. And since I didn't know how to do that on there, then I was like, what's the point of doing it on YT? So, lived there twice and returned to, oh yeah, you already told me that, yeah. What's going on? So I think I'm just going to start and whoever comes in, we're going to just flow with it. So tonight, I wanted to talk more about creating a custom practice for your soul nourishment, right? And how to make the custom practice. I want to share that with y'all if you're able to stick around for a little bit longer, okay? So I want to share with you just a little bit about me, and then we're going to talk about the outline, and then we're going to have some interaction here, all right? So if you're, hey, 3333, I love them numbers, and it was just 3 people in here. If you're here, that you want to get cozy, want to learn about me and just learn a few things and just relax, I welcome you. And I don't know if you see a forum button anywhere on here, but if you'd like to know more about what I do or afterwards, just input your info and we'll take care of that stuff, okay? So I know the lighting isn't the best in here, but I got my Soul Care 101 and we're going to be writing some things, right? But let me tell you about me, okay? I go by the name of Quoy, right? Kind of like koi fish. And I have a business called The Ray of Gratitude. It has been growing for about 4 years, right? And it has been growing into a lot of things around creative wellness and spirituality. And I feel that your creativity goes hand in hand with your spirit, your soul, right? How you are living, right? Living up to your potential, living up to your purpose throughout the levels of growth in this world. And I'm going to be looking at 2 cameras. But I create soul care tools for women that want more guidance in their healing journey, right? That want more support in their practices that we'll be talking about, and want more energy in their entrepreneurship. And again, like I love working with entrepreneurs because entrepreneurs deal with a lot of burnout and they deal with a lot of creative energy. But sometimes, many times in few, because we're all creative, sometimes we're in need of that creative medicine to actually help us heal. And I've been doing this since like yay high, y'all. Before I even really knew that I was doing it, right? And I've been growing this business to support the best of both worlds right now, intentionally, for personal development and brand development, because I see the connection. It's a big connection here. But because I found that burnout is a main factor of why women are having a hard time making money, right? And actually growing through the phase of startup, it inspired me. Everything that I be talking about is what I've experienced. Like, there's far and few times that I'll be talking about something I haven't experienced, okay? Gemini is currently strong out on ice. Who is a Gemini? Lucy, have you been here before? Do you remember that I'm a Gemini? Yes, y'all, I'm a Sun Gemini. And I'm a Leo rising with a Leo moon. Okay? So when I talk about creativity, y'all, all around me, to the point that I have burned out numerous of times, okay? Numerous of times. But this is what inspired me to create tools. I've always been a tinkerer, creative. Like, it's so cute to see my nephews and nieces, and they really be getting it in with their creativity. And I can't wait to talk to them about stuff like this because I have used creativity to be my medicine, right, for a very long time, as long as I can remember in high school. But then at the same time, right, let me put this on silent. At the same time, I didn't know what was going on. Like I didn't know I was doing that. It just came natural, right? But because I've found how useful it is for growing my business, I started understanding like, okay, I do see this as a gift. Maybe it's time to start sharing it with other people, you know? Even when I was doing my logos, right? Back in the day for $50. A lot of times, through conversation and things like that, people would be like, oh my God, like, were you in my head? And I'm like, I don't know. I just saw it and I did my process and I shared this stuff with you, so it's still all that stuff. But burnout can be the transformative marker where we have personal development and brand development intertwining, okay? Linking in. So I don't know about y'all, but can any of y'all relate about like burnout or anything? I kind of feel like y'all can, but if you can, put that one in that chat, okay? And give me some taps on that screen so we can kind of, especially on TT, especially if we can get it a little bit livelier for more people to actually come in, that would be great for me. Thank you, Takia. I see you. I'm sure a lot of us, especially us women that deal with entrepreneurship, have dealt with burnout. There's multiple levels to burnout too that I've became to understand. And like for a while in the beginning of my entrepreneurship, I didn't really know what was going on because I related to burnout in a different way. Like where I'm from, we'd be like, oh, that person burned out. And it didn't mean like it didn't mean like holistically, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually burnt out. It just meant like, they might be like a burned out type of thing or whatever. It didn't click with me. But the crazy thing is that from my like research and stuff, it wasn't really until 2020 a lot of people started actually describing this as a psychological issue that connects with a physical issue, right? And I'm telling you, it's multiple levels. And when we talk about work burnout, okay, when we're talking about corporate America, the burnout is real. Even down to these kids is burnt out, right? But that's a different conversation. Like kids in school be burnt out. Total different conversation. But it gets deep, y'all. It really gets deep because, there's the physical burnout, definitely the mental burnout that affects hand in hand with the emotional burnout. And then there's soul exhaustion, spiritual burnout, all right? Encourage more viewers, share. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate it. Hi, Nisi, welcome in. Hi, Doris, welcome in. Hi, y'all. So I'm going to keep it going. While we're talking about this creative custom practice for more soul nourishment, right? We're going to go over a little bit about the pillars of soul care. Like, what is soul care, right? Then I want to do a little body scan, a little exercise that we can all use and feel like we can use this practice to be more aware of our body and hit cues, right? This practice totally helps us understand different cues and be aware of what is going on mentally, physically, and emotionally. And then we're going to talk about this creating the soul care practice, all right? And if you stay to the end, I'm going to pick a few people to do an energy reading with me. This is something I have in my service. And if it's okay with y'all at the end, I'd love to share a service that I have. Okay. That really helps people with this. All right. So is that all right with y'all? Hey, Crystal. Hey, Nisi. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right. I'm totally neglecting my UT people. Okay. Yes. Welcome in. Anything? Okay. Yes. Burnout. Exactly. All right. So, let's go. Let's get it. All right. So let me know, what do y'all think soul care means to y'all? Does anybody want to share what soul care means to you all? Or just have an idea what that is? Does anybody? Love, does anybody want to talk about what soul care means to them? Okay, I know sometimes it's hard to write all this stuff down. For me lately, it's protecting my peace. I hear that. I know that's right. It is. It definitely is. And getting unapologetic. Yes, exactly. Welcome in, Kibi. Okay. Absolutely. What do you got over here? Um, it means connecting with your soul more. Yes, it does mean that. It does. I feel like soul care means a lot of different things. Okay. I think that for me, how I define soul care is just another term for self development and self discovery, right? Where you can actually practice more ways to take care of yourself from the inside out. Thank you. Thank you for the rose. All right. And it's important. Um, it's important as a soul-led entrepreneur, right? For me and other soul-led entrepreneurs that understand this, is that, you know, understanding what's best for you, right? Like I had to understand that a lot of people outside of me were growing out of different spaces, different timings, which took a very long time, especially dealing with family, right? But I also had to take a long time unlearning the things that were versions of me that did not fit correctly, right? It just didn't fit the shoe. Also, really standing in my creative power too. That was a big one for um, business development, because business is a development. And I don't know why, for the love of me, I didn't go to school for business, but it's funny. Like I love graphic design. I really truly love it, even though I've strayed away from it nowadays, right? Because I'm not a corporate girl at all. That lasted that was a short term in my life, and a lot of it was growing on my own. That I had to learn my own failures and successes. I didn't have any mentors that could mentor me about these things, but I totally had the YouTube. YouTube YT came out. Okay, it came out. When did YT come out? Like in '06? I don't know, but um I don't know. I wasn't an entrepreneur when it came out, but I want to say some years later. I've been doing entrepreneurship for a good 10 years. A lot of failures, right? But we pick ourselves up, we learn through that. And this is where things just started growing for me because, when you can't take care of your business, there's something lacking with taking care of yourself and the things that are surrounding you. And if you can't take care of yourself, you for damn sure can't take care of your business, right? You just can't. And then there's a lot of other blocks that happen that are like your business is calling you to understand, like, yo, why am I keep getting shy about these things or being seen on camera and stuff, right? I'm telling y'all, I have stage fright, okay? With all caps. Um, but there was something so determined and persevering inside of me. Like I knew before IG had video stuff, I just knew that this video stuff was going to get big. I used to work around the video camera people, like, yo, in my other like little freelance jobs and like gigs and stuff. I'm like, how do you do this? How do you edit? Da, 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 da. And then, years later, CapCut comes out. I'm like, I got this down pack already. But there's certain skills that you need to learn that are, more personal to growth, personal development, and other skills, character development, and even like design skills and stuff like that. We wear many hats. And because we wear many hats, we burn the out. Okay. So, let's just talk about this three pillars right here. Okay. I don't know if y'all can see the screen, but I'm still going to write it down just to be a little busy. All right. For me, for soul care, especially within Array of Gratitude, I don't know if I said that I own a business called Array of Gratitude, but it doesn't matter. All right. The first pillar is important because it's about creating restorative rituals. Okay. And When we say the word rituals, I know sometimes people might think like, oh, rituals, and think about like religion, all this stuff. But really, it's about spirituality and ancient spirituality. A lot of people understood that certain rituals were coming from this creative life force energy that we had, right? Thank you. That we had. And it's just like, creativity, right? We're co-creating in this world anyway with the unseen. So it's like, how are we creating and building this momentum so we can literally physically have things from our ideas, right? The unseen down into physical form. So when I say that, it's like physical daily practices, right? To reset, that calm your nervous system and reconnect with yourself. So when you think about your soul, it's inward, right? We're connecting. It's a feeling. We don't really see, but it's a feeling. You might see it on people when they light up and talk about stuff, right? But it's a feeling. So for example, like maybe like breathing, grounding exercises, pulling cards, which is one of my favorites, right? Um, Journaling, you know, things, and even coloring with music, like something that simple can be restorative, can restore your energy as well as your soul vibes, right? Oh, yes, right? Exactly, exactly. So, the next one is about using boundaries as energy protect. So using, ooh, y'all, using um boundaries. I'm spelling, sorry y'all, I get a little weird sometimes. Um as energy protectors. So I got this like really juicy exercise for boundaries, which is really great. And I'll just share with y'all, welcome in Tiffany. Like when we're talking about boundaries, 9 times out of 10, the boundaries are just for us, right? Um, that 1 out of 10 usually can be like a thick boundary that kind of is like a rule for people. It's like a hard now, right? That can sometimes mess with us because then we're just like totally closed off and we're like, now. And then we'll start operating out of fear. We don't want that. Boundaries aren't for you to be in fear or whatnot, right? We want to use boundaries, yes, to protect. Thank you, girl. We do want to use it to protect, but we also want it to be like checking ourselves. It's almost like, remember you said that. It's a form of self control, you know? So, examples would be paying attention to your body, though, like things like when you get certain cues, whether it's like intuitively, well, all of it probably would be intuitively, but then like your body does keep the score, right? So it's like you'll feel things within your body as well. You can feel your breath. It depends how aware you are. But when you practice more of these things, you can truly understand like, I'm crossing my boundaries instead of looking at the list that you made, right? It's good to make lists. I'm all about writing. I really am. But sometimes you have to revise those lists. And sometimes, like, ain't nobody going to be pulling out their phone like, oh, wait a second. This is about, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not going to happen. So, that's that. And then the third one that I kind of like to go by is kind of just supporting the first two. And that is using self compassion. Using self compassion as fuel. Self compassion is like a higher octave than self love to me because it's really about when you're coming to the space of knowing that self love is not selfish. Okay. Many of us empaths, many of us sensitive folk, many of people that just have dealt with a lot of burnout is we're in a sensitive space at times with that, you know, And when we're in a sensitive space, we can kind of just be like mentally like, oh, I don't know, like, I don't want to hurt nobody. But it's like, no, you have to unlearn these things to really help you move forward, help you move higher into being okay to say no, right? Being all right. This has taken me a very long time. And if I can be so frank with you, with other people, especially people that I love nearly and dearly, it's still taking a hard time for me. You know what I mean? But I know I've came a long way, and you have to appreciate yourself. That's another thing, like appreciating your small wins, gratitude, all that. That is self-compassion. And I wrote somewhere, where is this? Like, you got to see yourself as a flower with many layers, right? To love. And that self-compassion can become that soil for your growth in your business, right? Or just even in your blooming era, right? What do we call it? The glow up, right? So that's what I feel that it is. I always say count on your wins. Exactly, count on your wins. Yo, you be talking about, I remember you were saying something about your joy bank. I want to just highlight you real quick because that was such a cute term. And it's so simple to like just be like, oh yeah. And like how you like, I love it. I love it. Because it's true. Like a ray of gratitude. I don't want to steer off, but a ray of gratitude had came about from this relationship that I had with finding more gratitude in my life. You know what I mean? So I truly resonate with you when you were saying that, for sure. All right. So these are all the things that you can eventually help to recreate new stories about yourself and stand in your gifts. That's another thing that soul care does. Soul care totally helps you stand in your gifts. All right. Um, Helps you with standing in your gifts. And when you're a business owner, entrepreneur, right? When you want to start branding, the number one thing that you're going to really have to dig deep into is really understanding the story of transformation. A lot of times we go through these things that bring us to start the business. And sometimes when you've been digging your heels in the dirt for a while and you're trying to go through a growth phase in your business, there's still a story of transformation. Because every time you level up, there is going to be that transformative vibe that gets real funky. Nobody likes, but it's definitely like a pruning season, that's breaking things off that you no longer need and really allowing more light and soul nourishment so you can bloom again, right? Oh, eagle eyes, what's going on? So sending in your um, gifts and also transforming your story. Transform. It doesn't help that I'm left-handed, right? Transforming your story. Branding. Oh, I'm scribbling right now. I'm just looking at the time and I'm like, I'm kind of going slow. So, with that being said, all right, I'm so neglective of the YTs. Okay. Yo, this app right here that I'm pointing to is so sensitive. Like yesterday I was doing some card pulls and they like tried to restrict me and I'm just like, yo, I didn't even do anything. Some BS, but we're not gonna get into it. All right. So, oh my God, yes. Like my energy being low for overcommitting. So I had to postpone my video drop. Yeah. Yeah. I totally hear you. I know I'm a big person on biting off more than I can chew. And I have to realize when I get into that mode and then also be okay with, because sometimes I was just telling a friend, like sometimes for me, certain things I'll be already in the experience and then I'm just like, oh, this was a bad choice. But I have to be okay with saying, you know what? You know what I mean? But I am at a point where it's like I can catch the cues beforehand, but I'm not perfect. All right. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not perfect. but I am a good person that is very keen on what people need. Very keen, to the point that it's messed up my own detriment. Okay. So when I'm doing this for other people, it's like, all right, now let's go. We're going to walk through this. All right. So wherever you're at, right? I hope no one's driving. I don't think so because not many are live. But whoever watches the replay, or you can sit in a comfortable spot because we're just gonna do something that's gonna take at least 5 minutes for us. Okay. All right. So hey, Synergy, or I don't know. You just walked into Soul Care 101 teaching that I'm doing right now. I don't know if you can see the board, but right now we're actually going to do a body scan. So I'm going to guide you through a short exercise of a body scan. And I just want you to kind of like listen to my voice a little bit, okay? Just listen to the surroundings. So wherever you're at, just get comfy. You can sit in a chair. You can lie down if you'd like. I'll wait a few seconds. I know I can't see you. If this was Zoom or something, it would have been a little bit different, but it's all good because I'm here to show up and show out and connect with others. So welcome in. We're going to start this body scan. And, before you get too comfortable, just, shrug your shoulders a little bit. You might want to stretch your neck. Just shake your arms. Just shake the jitters off from today. And then you're just going to rest and start gently closing your eyes. All right? Start gently closing your eyes. And I want you to take 5 slow, deep breaths. And as you take these deep breaths, I want you to feel your stomach rising. These are more so belly breaths that open up your diaphragm. Right? As you breathe in through your nose, you're going to feel your stomach expanding. And as you breathe, exhale through your nose, you're going to feel your stomach going down. Okay? So you can breathe in and allow your abdomen to lower down. Breathe in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Gently and slowly. And I'm not sure where you're at, but we're all going to just take one more deep breath in through the nose as you feel your stomach rising and expanding. And you're just going to slowly breathe out through the mouth as your stomach shrinks. Okay? Now you're going to keep your eyes closed. Just feel relaxed. And I want you to just tune in to your environment. And then tune inward into your body, your senses. And start focusing on your facial expressions. Do you have a facial expression? Is your face feeling tight or is it feeling relaxed? And I want you to relax your forehead, relax your eyes, relax your jaw, just relax your whole face. And be aware of your breathing. Is your breathing shallow? Is it slow? Just be aware of it and try to catch a rhythm that feels normal to you. And as you do that, just become aware of your neck. Become aware of your shoulders. Relax them. Relax your arms, your hands. Relax your back. Do you feel any tension? If there's any areas in your back that feel tight, try to breathe deeper and slower. Relax your stomach, your hips, your legs, and all the way down to your feet. Just feel your whole body. There's no right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong way. Just breathe and relax. And be aware. Where do you feel any tension? And bring your awareness to your heart space. Just try to imagine your heart just radiating and glowing from the center of your body. And filling your whole body up with that golden, bright light energy. Okay? We're just going to take one more deep breath slowly through the nose, expanding your stomach, and then slowly breathing out as you open your eyes. Okay? And come back to the space you're in. If you need to look around where you're at, you can rub your hands together. All right, welcome in, McFly. Welcome in, whoever just came in. How are you doing? You just came into a Soul Care 101. And I just walked through, I don't know how far in you were listening, but I walked you through a body scan. This is something very easy and simple that you can do. It took us about actually 7 minutes, but it's okay. You know, it usually takes about 5 minutes to do. Yeah, and that really helps you connect inward, helps center your energy, right? Not be every which way. It helps you to sense and feel your body cues. That's what it really helps you do too. Because a lot of times our body will scrunch up, right? I know a lot of us might have our shoulders to our ears, and it's like, yo, breathe, right? We got to just breathe. There's a lot of times we'll just feel tension. I used to be a massage therapist as well, y'all, and everybody carries stress in their back. I don't even want to say majority. Everybody carries stress in their back. And if it's the upper back, it could be the neck. And then like you'll really feel it with your muscles and tension and stuff. You have to be aware of that too, because as I'm holding this, like sometimes you need more water, right? And when you're breathing shallow, you definitely more than likely need more water. For me, at times I forgot to eat at times. Like there's a lot of physical things to confirmation. There's a lot of physical things that are necessary in our body that we need, right? But then when we forget the physical things, then our mental starts messing with ourselves. Then our emotions start messing with ourselves. And then I'll be damned, then our spirits start messing with ourselves, okay? So that's an exercise that I wanted to share with you to just be aware. I love to help people with this. I actually have a video on YT right over here, y'all, that actually makes you, does this. It's recorded. You can listen to it more than once, of course. And, I have a space that can support you in that as well. But we'll talk about that later. Right now, we're going to talk about what you're connecting with, right? How to create your own soul care practice with your favorite love language, okay? So does anybody know about the love languages? And does anybody know their favorite love language? Hi, welcome in. Hi, it's Shannon. Welcome in. Does anybody know your love language? Your favorite is one. Oh, this fell down. I can let you know what they are. But if anybody wants to share, let me see. Yes, words of affirmation is one of them. Absolutely. True, true, true. Okay, so this was like a workbook that I created like a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago, about what has it been, 2 years. I still have copies. I was trying to sell all of them, but we're not going to get into that. But this has basically like where we at? This has coloring and journals in this workbook for self-reflection. And it has I think it has like 2 practices that you have. But the journals also help you reflect on a few things. I don't know what page it's on, but I talk about the love languages. Okay, here it is. What's your love language, right? What language is best for you in your self-love, right? Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? And each one you can transform into a practice to think about concentration. So for that one that said, for the person that said words of affirmation, right? We have words of affirmation, we have receiving gifts, we have quality time, we have acts of service, and we have physical touch. A lot of people, they show love in that way, shape, or form, right? But I don't know, I don't remember the person's name who created this form of love languages, but they divided it into that because some people actually get more nourished in that way, shape, or form. And I don't know who in here likes astrology, but I'm an astrology nerd. And I also have been recognizing with doing readings. I've done some readings, I do readings for your birth natal chart. There are certain places that I can tell that this is what makes sense with their love languages, right? It makes sense that someone's Venus placement or moon placement wants to be nourished in a certain way. But it's not just for other people. It's also for yourself, right? So, when we're talking about words of affirmations, okay? Hello, welcome in. When we're talking about words of affirmations, we are talking about to use this for self-love. Literally, it's in the saying, right? To create affirmations. Affirmation cards would be so great for a person that really has that soul nourishment and needs that soul nourishment through words of affirmations. That would be like their best thing. All right. When we're talking about physical touch, right? A soul care practice that you can have would be something like something more physical, of course, hugging yourself, okay? Kissing your skin, rubbing on lotion, and just feeling, right? Massaging yourself. And wearing something too that makes you feel good inside out. It's physical. You want to put something on, you want to be fashionable, you want to dress for yourself. That's something that can actually be a self-love, self-care, soul care practice for you if your physical touch love language is your favorite, right? And it's the one that is for you. Receiving gifts is another one. And when we're talking about that, you can literally make a soul care practice out of taking yourself to dinner as a gift, right? Taking yourself on a date, buying yourself flowers, right? That would be good. Or traveling somewhere. That would be really good as well. Okay? That's something that you can implement in your soul care practices, right? Quality time. For those that have quality time as their top tier love language, going for a walk, taking a bath, journaling your thoughts, meditating. Those are some things that you can implement as soul care practices for you, right? And last but not least, acts of service. Those things, this is kind of like the self-compassing of soul care if you're, transforming it into a practice for you, because you take a break when your body feels like it's tired, okay? That's something that is soul care. When you have mental overload, that is something that you can recognize and be like, no, right? Making self-care your priority, because your body is your temple. And this is all in my workbook that I have here, right? So I see a few people coming in and out. Let me know if you're still here to learn about the soul care. TT, if you're still here and you want to know a little bit more about the soul care and the soul care practices, let me know, because I'm going to share my service, and I would love to pick somebody where I can just do a soul care reading for you. Okay? Let's see. YT, how we doing? Okay. So if you like astrology, this is where astrology comes into play, because you can utilize these love languages how you like. Some people feel that like one is more top tier over the other. But when you really start using the love language for yourself and your self-love, this is how you start using it. And for me, I like to tie it in with astrology. I love astrology. So when we're talking about fire signs, right, which is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, right, we're talking about adding more movement and play in your energy. All right. So that would be some type of thing. For example, if you had like a 30-second shakedown or a playful stretch, those can be something good for your astrology markers, right? So fire signs, playful stretch, yoga, exercise. Also like Qigong too. But for fire signs, that might be a little too slow for y'all. All right. Now for water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, what would really be good for y'all is something that can connect with your emotions to express something, right, from the heart, but also grounding, because sometimes water is very intuitive. A lot of the water signs, y'all can be all in your head or just like spaced out, and you need to ground more. So an example would be something like, writing in your journal or whatnot. That would be good, but actually that's a safe space to express. But the grounding part would be something more like, I think water signs would be like more like Qigong and Tai Chi for y'all. Something slow that can help you really be more inward and more in your body, so you can feel that too. Even like the tapping, what is that called? I forget, but like tapping on your body and moving energy that way, that would be good for water signs as well. So earth signs, right? Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Y'all definitely would be good with things that are more sensory, because it's physical. Earth is physical, right? And having more rest without guilt, y'all. Okay? Like, earth signs are definitely be good with that. Oh, I forgot to write water signs. And that is expression, journal, and what was the other one? Journaling, and we'll say Qigong. And then earth signs, knowing when to rest, taking breaks, right? And I also feel like guided breathing and something like having like cozy blankets and stuff. That would be great for earth signs too, because like, again, sensory, right? Food may even be good. You know what I'm saying? Cooking a meal. cozy blankets. Like, a lot of this soul care is so simple that we'll more than likely forget what to do. But when you actually put it into a practice, right? And how I like to put in practice is looking at people's birth charts as well as human design. I like to interchange both of them. Human design to me is more about the energy centers where you're receiving and giving, right? And being really in tune with your body on how you can attract and rejuvenate your energy. And I think for me, like astrology is more of you can double tap little calico. You can definitely double tap. You just walked into Soul Care 101. Probably don't know what's going on, and you're over here asking me questions. So the first thing you could do is definitely double tap. Um, I'm actually not doing yes or no questions right now. So you might have to check me like in another hour, maybe another day. All right. Um, but yeah, let me get going back to what I was saying. We're doing Soul Care 101. I love to tap into people's soul care, tap into their needs of soul nourishment and all that jazz. Okay. So, last but not least, air signs, right? So, air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, right? They really strive on finding clarity and their creative expression as well. So, practices like 1 minute dumps, like writing through, sometimes people call it like thought release. When you write things, you put the timer on 1 minute, and then, you just start writing whatever goes like from your mind down onto paper. And when you're done, you're done. And you can read it back and like be like, oh, okay, what is this? I don't know what this is at all. But it does help you release energy out of your mental brain because, again, mental exhaustion is real. It does contribute to burnout. And nobody likes feeling like that, especially air signs. So, which have you ever tried before? I don't know if any of you have tried before. Nina in Florida, hi, how are you? Right? And I'm just wondering, like, what would make it hard? What do you think is hard? What do you think is easy? I really wish the lighting was better in here, but it's all good. All right. Well, so, oh, you think that all of them? Yeah, and they are very easy, right? But do you think it's hard for you to actually put it into a practice, right? Yeah, exactly. It's kind of hard for you to put it in practice because, like, when you're burnt out, like, you're so tired, you just don't want to do anything. The thought of work is like, ugh, I don't even want to do stuff, right? But wouldn't it be nice to have someone there to remind you, like, hey, to encourage you, to inspire you, to motivate you to do some of these things that can feel like fun instead of work, right? I'm going to make this a little bit faster because guess what? My laptop is at 7%. So, if you think so, I've created a service, right, that can help you create a practice that helps you with this area. And when I say a practice, a personalized practice, all right? Some of you may be at many different levels in burnout. And I have a sign up sheet and whatnot. Um, there's a link that is in the YT section, and then there's a form over here, right, where you can, sign up, and I'll give you things like that where I do talk about the levels of burnout, and also too, some of you might already be well in depth with practices, right, but you might want a little bit more help with your mental exhaustion, right, not feeling overwhelmed and anxious. And this is where my personalized soul care guides come in. All right. I create personalized soul care guides that actually helps you with an intuitive energy reading. Okay. I give you a custom file with a 15-minute private video that walks you through the intuitive energy check-in that I share with you, right, in the video. And it helps you tap into your chakra centers that need to be recharged. All right. I also, which comes into the soul care guide, is where you actually get to have a specific creative practice that I come about with affirmations and journal prompts that are based on your zodiac sign, more so your sun sign, because this is where you naturally light up and shine, right? So that's what I have for that one. And I like to include a creative mood playlist as well. And how do you do that? You'll find out if you actually book the soul care guide with me. So who's ever interested in that, all you got to do is DM me. If I'm talking to TT, all you got to do is DM me and I can share the link with that. And y'all on YT, the link is down there. I can actually put it in the chat as well here. All right, so you can see that. And, I wanted to share this with you. I gave you some time to talk about some of these things. I wanted to share my service because, this is what I do. This is how I show up, And, for those that really want to dive deeper with their soul care, I do have a soul care support that actually you get 60 minutes with me, a whole hour. All right. That doesn't just go over the soul care guide. You also get to understand a little bit more. We go into your astrology chart, right? Where we'll identify your energy leaks. We'll identify the creative roadblocks, the hidden strengths as well. I love to talk about that stuff. And, we'll also talk about a way to co-create a project that is a creative project that can help increase those weak areas, So this is something I really love to do. And also with the soul care support, you'll get just bonus for those that showed up. Now, I know that there's not many people up in here right now, and that's perfectly fine. But YT, for the rest of the month, I'm going to allow you to have 3 months for free in the Wellness Sanctuary area. So you can also get like quadrupled support with not just me, with other people as well. Okay. So if you are interested in all that stuff, all you have to do is look at the link below. And if anybody has any questions, I'd love to answer them before my computer dies. I thought I charged it, but this is an old computer. Hey, what's going on? This wasn't bad. I knew I was going to do this for an hour, and it lasted for an hour. The next time I do this, I definitely want to do it in a space where it's like Zoom so I can present it to y'all and we can actually talk. So it'll probably be an hour and 30 minutes. Thank you. Yeah, I really love doing this because I went through burnout multiple times, y'all. It's not fun. And it gets really deep. I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. It gets really deep, and when it gets deep, we're talking about soul exhaustion. Okay, this is why I'm talking about soul care. I'm talking about soul because I do believe, I'm a firm believer in, as a soul-led entrepreneur, when we get called to create things and share our gifts and be the way showers for others, there comes a lot of other baggage to unlearn, and it's not fun. It's like a spiritual journey that we're on, a spiritual awakening that we're on, and releasing certain things that you no longer need from the mind, the heart, and the soul becomes a lot of work, right? Shadow work and all that stuff, where I'm not saying it's impossible that you can't do by yourself, but it's definitely a lot easier when you can. And I've kept a lot of people in mind when creating things. I always have, especially with my business. And I'm all about that caring, heart-centered energy. So thank you. I really appreciate that. So YT, I'm going to get off because I have 3%, but much love to you. You can watch this again, check the description below for the links. And much love to you. Peace out.